All right, so let us talk about whether the Prime Minister should or shouldn't go chasing Trump around the world. Now, Stephen, even you, actually, no, I'm going to set you a task. Can we get the grab of Albo saying how it didn't matter there was no meeting with the President today because he got to say g'day to people while walking around a conference centre today. And then I won't say a word. And Stephen, you get to pick it up straight after Albo finishes telling us how massive a day he had on the international circuit today. Roll the tape.
I had discussions with President Macron of France, Prime Minister Modi of India, Prime Minister Ramaphosa of South Africa, Prime Minister Sheinbaum of Mexico, Prime Minister Meloni of Italy, as well as saying g'day to a whole bunch of other people during the day.
Go, Steve!
Well, clearly he's a master networker. I mean, he got to talk to all those people in a pretty short period of time. So I think the purpose of going there was we got an invitation from the Canadian Prime Minister, not from Donald Trump.
Correct.
It's important for Australia to be represented at these forums. Prime Ministers of all political persuasions have been to them before. So I think it's important that he was there in the first place. The fact that Donald Trump needed to go back to the US because obviously there's something pretty big, he said that himself, going to happen soon, is, he treated everybody at the G7 exactly the same way. Australia's not getting worse treatment or favourable treatment compared to how he's treating every other world leader.
No, I agree, but Maggie, if surely we expect a little more out of these grand global trips and Airbus Albo than just, I said g'day to some people.
Absolutely, Paul. But I do think that Albanese should go to NATO to pursue a meeting with President Trump. And I think while an in-person meeting between the two of them should have happened a long time ago, given how crucial Australia's strategic partnership with America is, and especially with AUKUS under review in America, the Greens here in Australia calling for Australia to withdraw from AUKUS, it's crucial for the Prime Minister to travel to NATO to secure a meeting with President Trump and to secure Australia's future and security.
All right, so about that point though, Stephen, do you think that he should be subbing in if he can do something on the sidelines of NATO, or frankly kind of dodges a bullet here, right? Because I know some of them, and look, the main people I am laughing about all of this, apart from the PM's answer today, was the media sort of setting the most important meeting of his career and all of this stuff that was, it wasn't North and South Korea, like fair dinkum. But that said, if there's a window, you take it. Do you push for the window? Do you kind of just, not really put that much effort into it? If there's a chance, do you do it next week, or does all this happen again in a week's time?
Look, firstly to your point about how the media are trying to create this furor, I think you're dead right.
Thank you.
This is a media bubble. The people inside the bubble are fascinating themselves with this conversation. Nobody else in the rest of Australia is following it like this bubble of the media. So while I think it is important to pursue, as he's indicated, because despite the media trying to say what's Donald Trump going to say to him, it's what we need to say to Donald Trump. We need to press him over the tariffs. We need to press him over aluminium and steel, which he's doubled the tariff on. We need to press that point. We need to press the point that we're not going to allow him to make drugs in Australia more expensive because he wants to pander to the American pharmaceutical companies. We need to press the point that we're not going to let the American tech giants dictate how Australia's sovereign government can behave, because he's talking about getting behind them and putting punishments on countries that won't accept the MAGA definition of free speech. So I think it's important for two reasons, or three reasons, and then you have the most important one, which is to make the point to Trump that Australia are contributing up to $3 to $4 billion towards the American manufacture of submarines. And he needs to understand that part. He needs to understand that Australia and our geographic position, to borrow from Richard Marles, and all Richard Marles is guilty of is telling the truth. If the Chinese and Americans get into a spat, we'll be drawn into it whether we want to be in it or not, simply because of the use of our joint facilities to provide intelligence and satellite cover for the half of a day, every single day, where the satellites can't go direct to the US or the UK. Geographically, we're vitally important to the American strategic interests. So it's important for Albo to be making all of those points to Donald Trump, not just taking a lecture from him about how much he thinks we should spend on defence.
Yeah.
Well, we'll decide that ourselves. We're a sovereign nation. So we'll decide our policy on drugs. We'll decide our policy on defence. We'll decide our policy on the internet. And those points all need to be made to Donald Trump. This is not one-way traffic.
I'm with you.